Right now, thousands of people across the UK are opening letters that are about to change their financial lives. Some are losing money they have counted on for years. Some are being moved on to completely different payment systems with almost no explanation. And a specific group, people who did absolutely nothing wrong, are actually ending up worse off because their pension went up. The mainstream media gave this story 3 paragraphs and moved on. But those 3 paragraphs contain information that could affect your rent, your council tax, your TV license, and your entire retirement income. And the people hit hardest are the ones least likely to have seen any of it. Stay with me until the very end. Because after I break down exactly what is happening, exactly who is affected, and exactly why, I am going to give you a step-by-step action plan you can use today. That final section alone is worth the entire watch. Let us start with the big picture. April 2026 is not just one change landing on pensioners. It is 4 separate changes colliding at the same moment. And that collision is creating chaos for some of the most financially vulnerable people in this country. You have the DWP's ongoing benefits migration program. You have rule changes around mixed-age couples and pension credit. You have a government-wide data matching operation that is generating overpayment demands. And you have the state pension uprating, which sounds like good news but is triggering a benefits cliff edge for tens of thousands of people. Each of these on its own would be significant. All for hitting in April, at the same time as energy bills reset, council tax increases kick in, and the general cost of living is still squeezing every household. That is something else entirely. Let us take them one at a time. The DWP has been running what it calls a managed migration program for several years now. The goal is to move people off older legacy benefits, things like income support, old-style employment and support allowance, and older job seeker arrangements, and onto universal credit instead. This has been rolling out in waves. And in April 2026, a major wave is hitting people who are at or near pension age. People who had every reason to believe their benefits were settled and stable. Here is where it gets serious. When you get a migration notice, a letter telling you your legacy benefit is ending, you have a deadline. You must submit a new universal credit claim within that window. If you miss it, your payment does not pause. It stops. And getting it restarted is far more complicated than it should be. Now think about who is in this group. We are talking about people in their 60s. People managing health conditions. People with limited internet access. People who receive an official government letter, feel overwhelmed by the language, and put it on the kitchen counter to deal with later. The number of people who have fallen through this gap because they did not understand that a non-response means their money gets cut off is not small. And April 2026 is when a significant number of those cases are hitting their breaking point. There is supposed to be a safety net built into this process. It is called transitional protection, a top-up payment designed to make sure you do not receive less after the move than you did before. But here is what the government does not put in the headline. That protection is not permanent. It erodes over time as your circumstances change. And for many people, by the time they realize what has happened, it has already been reduced. The second thread running through all of this involves couples. Specifically, mixed-age couples where one partner has reached state pension age and the other has not. Before May 2019, this was straightforward. If one partner was old enough to claim pension credit, the household could claim it. The older partner's eligibility covered the household. That rule changed. New claimants in that situation now have to claim universal credit instead. And universal credit is calculated very differently. In many cases, the household ends up significantly worse off. Some couples were protected from this change because they were already claiming pension credit before May 2019 and were allowed to carry on under the old rules. That grandfathered protection has kept some households financially stable for years. But here is the catch. That protection is fragile. If anything changes, your income shifts, your living situation changes, you briefly stop claiming and then try to restart, the old protection can disappear. And when it does, the household gets assessed under the new framework and the difference can be hundreds of pounds a month. April 2026 is the moment when many of those trigger events are being processed. Couples who have not changed anything deliberately are being told their entitlement has changed. And the letters explaining why are not always written in language that makes the situation clear. The third thread is one that has generated the most distress in the comments and messages we have been receiving. The DWP has been running a large-scale data matching operation. It is cross-referencing pension and benefit records against HMRC data, bank records, and other government databases to identify what it classifies as overpayments. Thousands of letters have gone out to pensioners saying they owe money back. Some of those figures go back years. I want to be precise here because this is an area where panic is understandable but not always warranted. The DWP does not always get this right. The data matching process is a blunt tool. The algorithm that flags potential overpayments does not account for every nuance of individual circumstances. If you believe your situation was correctly reported and your payments were correctly made, you have the right to challenge it. You have the right to appeal. And using those rights does not make you awkward or difficult. It makes you someone using the legal protections that exist exactly for this situation. Even if the overpayment is real, you have rights around how it is recovered. The DWP cannot take large sums back in one go without your agreement. There are caps on how much can be deducted from ongoing payments. There are hardship provisions. If the recovery rate is causing genuine financial difficulty, you can ask for a review of it. What you cannot do is ignore these letters. I know that the instinct when something feels frightening and official and complicated is to put it down and deal with it later. But every day you wait is a day your options narrow. If you have received one of these letters, call the number on it. Ask for a breakdown of how the figure was calculated. And if anything does not match your understanding of your own circumstances, start a mandatory reconsideration within 1 calendar month of the decision date. After that month, challenging the figure becomes significantly harder. Now I want to talk about the fourth thread, because this one is the most counterintuitive and in some ways the cureless. Every April, the state pension goes up. For 2026, the up rating is around 9% for many pensioners. That sounds like good news. And in isolation it is. More money coming in each week. But for a specific group of people, that increase is actually making them worse off. Not slightly worse off. Significantly worse off. Here is how it works. Some pensioners receive pension credit because their state pension income falls below a guaranteed minimum threshold. Pension credit does not just top up their income. It is the gateway to a cascade of other benefits. Maximum housing benefit. Full council tax reduction. Free NHS dental treatment. For those over 75, a free TV license. These linked benefits can be worth hundreds of pounds a month on top of the direct pension credit payment. Now, if the state pension up rating pushes someone's income above the pension credit threshold, even fractionally, the gateway closes. And when it closes, it does not just close on the pension credit. It can close on all the linked benefits simultaneously. This is what is being called the benefits cliff edge. And it is one of the least understood and most punishing features of the current system. Let me make this real. Imagine a 74-year-old widow living in a rented flat. Her total state pension income is around £191 a week. Because that falls below the threshold, she receives pension credit. That pension credit means she gets maximum housing benefit, a full council tax reduction, and a free TV license. April arrives. Her state pension goes up by £18 a week. Welcome news on the surface. But that increase nudges her total income above the threshold. Her pension credit entitlement drops. And as a consequence, her maximum housing benefit entitlement changes. She loses £23 a week in housing benefit. Her pension went up. Her total income went down. She did nothing wrong. She reported everything correctly. The system simply worked in a way that punished her for receiving a higher pension. She is not one person. She is tens of thousands of people right now, sitting in their homes, watching their income change in ways they do not understand, with no one to explain what happened and no idea they have any recourse at all. This is where we talk about what you can actually do. Because everything I have just laid out means nothing if you leave this video without a concrete plan. First, work out which state pension system you are on. If you reached state pension age before April 6, 2016, you are on the old legacy system. The basic state pension with potentially additional state pension on top. If you reached pension age on or after that date, you are on the new state pension. This distinction matters enormously for how all of these changes affect you. If you are not sure, check your most recent state pension letter from the DWP or look at your pension record through your government gateway account online. Second, if you receive any means-tested benefits, pension credit, housing benefit, or council tax reduction, contact the relevant authority before the end of April and ask them to recalculate your entitlement in light of the state pension increase. Do not wait for them to contact you. Many councils and the pension service are dealing with huge volumes right now, and recalculations can be delayed for weeks. If you sit and wait, you may end up receiving the wrong amount for months without knowing it. Third, if you have received a migration notice, a letter telling you your legacy benefit is ending and you need to claim universal credit, treat that letter as the most urgent thing on your to-do list. The deadline printed on it is real. Missing it stops your payment. If you need help with the process, call Citizens Advice on 0800 144 844 or visit your local Age UK office. These organizations have trained advisors who handle exactly this situation every single day. Fourth, if you have received an overpayment letter, do not leave it in a drawer. Call the DWP on the number in the letter. Ask for a detailed breakdown of how the figure was calculated. If anything does not match your circumstances, request a mandatory reconsideration immediately. You have 1 calendar month from the decision date. After that, your options narrow significantly. Fifth, if you are a mixed-age couple, one partner above state pension age and one below, urgently check whether your current pension credit claim is still valid under the rules as they apply to your situation right now. If anything has changed in your household over the past year, income, living arrangements, a partner starting or stopping work, your entitlement may have changed without you realizing it. Finding that out proactively is far less damaging than waiting for the DWP to find it and issue a recovery demand. Sixth, if any of this feels too complicated to unpick on your own, talk to a specialist. Age UK's advice line is free. Citizens Advice is free. Many local councils have welfare rights teams that will help you at no cost. The complexity of this system is not your fault. You are not expected to navigate it alone. There are people whose entire job is to sit with you and work through exactly this kind of situation. Use them. Here is what I want you to take away from all of this. The April 2026 changes are not one thing. They are for separate processes landing simultaneously on a group of people who are already under financial pressure. Legacy benefit migration. Mixed-age couple rule changes. Overpayment recovery. And the benefits cliff edge triggered by the pension up rating. If you are affected, you are not powerless. You have rights around migration deadlines. You have rights around how overpayments are recovered. You have the right to challenge assessments you believe are wrong. And you have access to free professional advice that can model your exact situation and tell you where you stand. The people who will lose the most from these changes are the ones who do not know their rights or do not know where to turn. You now know both. One more thing. Think of one person in your life who might be sitting in the situation I described today. An elderly parent. A neighbor. A friend you know is on pension credit. They are not watching this video. They are probably not searching for pension news online. They may not find out what has hit them until it already has. Send them this. Share it. Post it in the group chat. Because the information I have just given you could make a real difference to someone who has no other way of getting it. If this helped you understand what is happening and what you can do about it, hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already, and leave your question in the comments below. I read every single one. Your questions shape what this channel covers next. And right now, there has never been more that needs covering.